I'm Jennifer Mathieu. I'm the CTO of Graphika. This is the second year I've participated in Truth and Trust Online. I was a co-chair with Clara Sao. We worked hard with the academic chairs to put together a program. What was really exciting was the questions throughout the day were so interesting. We had such an engaged audience. About 250 people or so were engaged both online and in the room. So it was a really nice spread between virtual and in person. We got to talk with a lot of academics as well as industry. We had sessions to sort of do mentoring with students. It was a really unique conference in that way. The diversity of the days were very interesting. The first day virtual had a combination of panels, rapid talks that lasted an hour and got into demos. So it was really a diverse conference. The other part that was very interesting is people that were brought together to talk on a theme had really great depth. And then we also had tool builders, algorithm experts, and so the idea that they could begin to interact and understand requirements from both sides, so it made it a very interactive conference. For me, it was interesting to see a lot of students. Since we are in Boston, there's always a lot of students here, and just sort of sharing how you have careers in trust and safety and online threat detection. It was very the discussions that we had were a lot like, how did you get to the point in your career, and then a lot of questions for how a student could sort of make steps towards the career of their lives. Maybe I need to highlight this because it's so exceptional. We had a presentation from a high school student, which was amazing. There are two really exciting things that I got to talk to folks about. One of them was the fact that in order to be in this space, we find that a lot of people who are here are very multidisciplinary. And one of the things I've been thinking about for a few years is like, what sort of program within a university would train people to be ready for what we do? And I've always thought that a department or a program called human systems, complex human systems, how do you understand them, how do you help them, and then how do you bring together the right expertise to study them adequately. And then during one of the talks today, I heard someone use the term human systems, and I was like, I think maybe we might be ready to start thinking about what the future is of educating students for the type of work we do. And then the second example would be, for years before I did this, I started this about 12 years ago to work on online and social media analytics. I did modeling and simulation, and it's been around for many, many years. One of the reasons I moved to online and social media analytics is because we had limited data for models. And I had a conversation while I was here that focused on how do you begin to now bring those communities back together, because trying to get ahead of just the detection of the issue and what we do about it is such an important part of the challenge. But conferences like this are, we had one talk on this topic, and it's hard to like come back together after they've been sort of separate for a while. So this idea of even becoming more multidisciplinary and bringing back technologies we need. The idea of human systems would bring together, thinking about many, there are environmental programs, there are, media programs, and the idea that you have to begin to tackle it in a more holistic way. I think maybe thinking about some of the future work on metaverse and gaming environments, which of course are just emerging, and then people talk a little bit about digital twins and smart cities, and the idea that we're even going to get more deeply into virtual augmented reality systems. So how do you think about that work going forward, and then how do you begin to study it from a holistic perspective? And I think we understand the issues within mis and disinformation are topic-based, like whether you're talking about climate change or elections, but beginning to think about it overall as a whole and instead of one at a time, because I think it's all related, and the scale of the challenge is so large that I think a holistic perspective would be helpful, although daunting.
Indeed.
So at Graphika, we focus on looking at multiple online and social media platforms, and we focus on community detection. We're very excited that we have just recently launched a new product, which is very much focused on the so what. So it gets a little bit at that sort of decision layer I was mentioning. And we're very excited to collaborate with many organizations. And part of our platform is to focus on bringing organizations together and how we can begin to tackle this challenge together.